The Balanced Scorecard. Managerial Accounting written by Garrison, Noreen, and Brewer. Management and Cost Accounting written by Drury. For more information, please visit the e-learning platform. By Karim Sharf. In this topic we will study the following points. Tableau de bord. Benchmarking. Balanced scorecard. Objective. Balanced scorecard philosophy. Leading and lagging indicators. Cause and effect relationships. What does performance mean? There are many definitions of performance. We can define performance as an accomplishment of a task or reach a target, for example deliver customers in time. Performance signifies the means or resources used to achieve this target. To measure performance, we should take into account the constraints and the limits, for example the production capacity. Performance measurement is the process of assessing how successful or unsuccessful a business entity is in achieving its objectives or goals. There are many tools of performance management such as balanced scorecard, activity-based management, benchmarking. A performance indicator is a measure of performance. There are financial and non-financial indicators. Financial indicators are related to financial data. Non-financial indicators are related to satisfaction level, human resources, etc. Example of indicators: turnover, delivery time, production efficiency, absenteeism, profit margin, and so on. Sometimes in the company, the interests of different departments are divergent and sometimes contradictory. So financial and non-financial indicators should be taken into account to assess the performance. Performance measurement aims to measure how successfully the organization is achieving its objectives. The main objectives of a system of performance measurement are designing measures at all levels of an organization which are consistent with the strategy of the organization. Reward schemes should be based on performance of managers against the targets. Measures should be fair. Managers should only be judged on things they controlled. Controllability principle. Measures should be objective, not subjective. Tableau de bord is a dashboard such as the one in an automobile or an aircraft. The tableau de bord measurement system materialized in France at the turn of the century. Process engineers were looking for ways to improve their production process by developing a better understanding of cause-effect relationships. This same principle was later applied at the top management level, giving senior managers a way to monitor, compare, and take corrective action. Example of graphs and visualization of a performance measurement system, namely Tableau de bord. Now, I will see the principles of the Tableau de bord. The Tableau de bord should report actual performance on a small number of indicators. You don't want to overload management with too much information. Actual performance should be measured against a predetermined level selected on the basis of past performance as well as external benchmarking. The time period of the report should be relevant to the unit's responsibilities and the nature of the data. Monthly revisions are recommended for top management. The Tableau de bord and its processes could provide each unit manager with a periodic, brief overview of the performance of the unit to guide decision-making. Inform the next level up of the subunit's performance. Force each subunit to position itself within the context of the company's overall strategy and the responsibilities of other subunits. Contribute to structuring management's agenda and directing managerial focus and discussions. Rapid reporting. Provide each unit manager a brief overview of the performance of the unit. Different for different levels. For each department, the manager should elaborate a specific tableau de bord. Financial and operational indicators. The tableau de bord should include financial and operational indicators. The actual performance should be measured against a predetermined level selected on the basis of past performance as well as external benchmarking. Take a minute and read the information of this slide. Benchmarking involves setting performance targets, for example, standards, for a business unit, based on the actual performance achieved by someone external. In other words, the benchmarking is the process of comparing one's business processes and performance metrics to industry bests and/or best practices from other industries. Dimensions typically measured are quality, time, and cost. Improvements from learning mean doing things better, faster, and cheaper. In a few words, benchmarking is the process of comparing our performance with performance of another company. In general, there are 4 types of benchmarking: competitive benchmarking, internal benchmarking, and strategic benchmarking. Internal benchmarking. The best performing division in a company is used as a target for the other divisions. This can lead to interdivisional conflict within the company. Competitive benchmarking. Targets are based on the best company in a particular industry. Unfortunately, data may not be easy to obtain, and even then it may not be comparable. Strategic benchmarking. Strategic methods and processes are observed in successful companies, appropriate lessons are learned and improvements implemented. Functional benchmarking. Particular business functions are compared, this is often across industries. The following statements compare internal benchmarking to competitive benchmarking. 1. Internal benchmarking can lead to relatively high levels of interdivisional conflict. True. It is relatively hard to source non-financial information for use with internal benchmarking. Which of the following is the best description of the truth of these 2 statements? A. Statements 1 and 2 are true. B. Statement 1 is true, statement 2 is false. C. Statement 1 is false, statement 2 is true. D. Statement 1 and 2 are false. Take a minute and choose the correct answer. The correct answer is B. Divisions are being compared with each other, which makes them rivals. It is generally much easier to find information for internal benchmarking since competitors try to protect their sensitive information. Why financial performance indicators are not considered sufficient for measuring the performance of part of an organization. Financial performance indicators are not considered sufficient for measuring the performance of part of an organization for the following reasons. They focus on whether success has been achieved rather than whether success is likely to be achieved in the future. They only tell you what has happened over a limited period in the immediate past. They give you no indication of what is going to happen in the future. The range of possibilities are their determinants. They are vulnerable to manipulation and to the choice of accounting policy on matters such as depreciation and stock valuation. They do not relate to the strategic management of the business and may induce short-termism. Financial indicators lead to excessive focus on cost reduction. Financial performance indicators ignore the drivers of business success. The things which drive business success are quality, delivery, customer satisfaction, after-sales service. The weaknesses inherent in relying exclusively on financial performance indicators lead companies to use often non-financial indicators. In response to these problems, the non-financial indicators became very popular during the 1980s. 2 problems arose, however. Organizations often ignored financial performance entirely. This is clearly not appropriate when the objective of an organization is to maximize the wealth of its shareholders. Organizations developed too many NFPIs, many of which conflicted, and this resulted in confusion. In response to these problems, Kaplan and Norton developed the balanced scorecard approach. The key idea of the balanced scorecard was to balance the financial measures with non-financial measures. Norton and Kaplan retained the financial, but they introduced 3 other perspectives, one relating to customers. Who are our customers and how do we create value for them? Then we have internal processes. What are the processes we have to excel at to succeed with our targeted customers? And the foundation, which they call the learning and growth, is the capability for the organization to continue to improve and get better: people, internal processes, information systems, organizational climate. The 4 perspectives should complement each other. If our customers are happy, for example, this should lead to greater revenues and profits, which improve the financial perspective. But the key idea of the balance through the balanced scorecard, at least initially, was to balance the financial measures with non-financial measures in these 3 other perspectives. Let's take another quick check. The correct answer is ABD. By implementing the balanced scorecard, we have to set measures and performance targets. In other words, within each of the 4 perspectives, management needs to identify objectives. What are the main objectives? Measures. How can the performance be measured against the objectives? Targets should be set for each of the measures. Initiatives should be set. What actions could be taken to improve the measures? Balanced scorecard consists of an integrated set of performance measures that are derived from and support a company's strategy. Importantly, the measures included in a company's balanced scorecard are unique to its specific strategy. The balanced scorecard enables top management to translate its strategy into 4 groups of performance measures: financial, customer, internal business processes, and learning and growth that employees can understand and influence. Objectives. What do we want to accomplish? Measures. How do we quantify the objectives? Targets. What are we striving to achieve? Initiatives. What programs do we need to hit our targets? Objectives. What do we want to accomplish? In building the balanced scorecard, we now start with objectives in these 4 perspectives. The problem with many organizations' strategic plans is that they talk about what they're going to do in the traditional sense, their list of actions, their list of programs and initiatives. We're going to expand into new markets. We're going to launch new products. We're going to train our people, upgrade their skills. How will you know whether it's been successful? And so plans, programs, actions, and initiatives are means to an end, but not an end in themselves. Measures. How do we quantify the objectives? Then we get to the measures. The measures are ways of quantifying the objectives. Targets. What are we striving to achieve? Targets are the value we want the measures to take on. What is success? What are we striving to achieve? Initiatives. What programs do we need to hit our targets? And then we get to the initiatives because we want to make stretch targets. What are the programs, short term, which could be 6 months to 2 or 3 years, that we have to undertake that will contribute to us being able to hit stretch targets for our strategic measures? So this is the basic structure of the balanced scorecard. Within each of the 4 perspectives, management needs to identify objectives, measures, targets and initiatives. Take a minute and read the information of this slide. Kaplan and Norton are interested in the cause and effect aspects of performance measurement. In this, they talk about leading and lagging indicators. Lagging indicators show the effect of decisions long after they were made. In the balanced scorecard, this refers to the financial measures which are the result of past decisions. Leading indicators drive future financial performance. These are the non-financial performance indicators relating to customer, internal business processes and learning and growth. The balanced scorecard relies on non-financial measures in addition to financial measures for 2 reasons. Financial measures are lag indicators that summarize the results of past actions. Non-financial measures are leading indicators of future financial performance. Top managers are ordinarily responsible for financial performance measures, not lower-level managers. Non-financial measures are more likely to be understood and controlled by lower-level managers. A critical assumption of the balanced scorecard is that each performance measure is part of a cause and effect relationship involving a linkage from strategy formulation to financial outcomes. Measures of organizational learning and growth are assumed to be the drivers of the internal business processes. The measures of these processes are in turn assumed to be the drivers of measures of customer perspective, while these measures are the driver of the financial perspective. The 4 perspectives should complement each other. If our customers are happy, for example, this should lead to greater revenues and profits, which improve the financial perspective. The non-financial perspectives are used to predict future financial performance. Balanced scorecard, whether for an individual or the company as a whole, should have measures that are linked together on a cause and effect basis. Each link can be read as a hypothesis in the form, if we improve this performance measure, then this other performance measure should also improve. In essence, the balanced scorecard lays out a theory of how a company can take concrete actions to attain desired outcomes. If the theory proves false or the company alters its strategy, the measures within the scorecard are subject to change. Thank you for watching.